Hey, this is Kyle Wood here with United Country down here in beautiful Rocky Point, Mexico. And we have a great episode for you today. We're going to be talking about seller financing. Stay tuned and we'll be right back. Welcome back. We are at the beautiful Penasco Resort. They just have completed renovations on this beautiful resort property back here. It took them about 6 months, and I can't say enough about the job that they did. It's my wife and I have an one-bedroom investment property here, and we absolutely love it. It's a great rental. Listen, we want to talk about seller financing today. Sandy and I have been real busy. We've received a lot of inquiries about, hey, how do I finance the purchase of a unit here? So I want to specifically talk about a seller financing. Typically, what we see in a seller financing situation, and again, there is no U.S. lending down here. They pulled out in 2010, so our option really is a seller financing. So on a seller financing agreement, typically you're going to be asked to put down 25 to 30%. The more you can put down, the more negotiating room that you have on your purchase price. The second is that the interest rates are going to be 3 to 7.5% depending on the seller. Third, I can structure your payments any way that to meet your budget. It's through an amortization schedule, 5, 10, 15, 20, or even sometimes 30 years. Essentially what that is very similar to a mortgage in the States, where your loan is structured over a 30-year period. Now, the sellers are going to want their balloon payment in 3, 5, or 7 years. So essentially what that means is that you're going to have to come up with that principal balance, whatever that principal balance is remaining at the end of that balloon period. You're going to have to come up with that lump sum payment. So you're going to have to budget to meet that schedule. And there's 2 ways to take title. One is through a warranty trust. I usually recommend that for anything longer than 3 years. If it's a 5-year balloon or a 7-year balloon, you're going to want to look at a warranty trust. The upside to the warranty trust is that your legal rights to the property are secured through the deed being registered and the trust being registered within the city registry of Puerto Penasco. The seller remains on the trust, and you are on the trust as well as the rightful owner until you pay the rightful owner. Once you pay off that note, the seller is removed. However, what happens is now the warranty trust has to be extinguished, which means canceled, and a new trust, a real estate bank trust, has to be formed. So you are going to be subject to almost double the closing costs as from a traditional closing. The only thing you don't have to pay is the transfer fee twice. You only have to pay it once. So I'm facing that situation right now with our investment property here. I want a warranty trust to secure my rights, but in exchange for that, I have to pay almost close to double the closing costs if I would have just paid cash or did a private agreement. So that's something that you're going to have to consider. The other option is to do a private agreement. And essentially, that is just an agreement between you and the seller. The private agreement is not a legal document that you can record within the city registry. So if one party does not perform and violates the agreement, you either settle it face-to-face with the 2 parties, or you're going to have to take it to the jurisdiction of a Puerto Penasco court. So we don't recommend going to court. So your best option is to negotiate with the seller to come to some agreement. The upside to that is that your closing costs are only going to be about $3,000, and not until you pay off the note. Not until you pay off the note is when you're going to pay the full closing costs, including the transfer tax. So you can delay your closing costs by up to 7 years if you have a 7-year note. The private agreements have been very popular here recently, and we do have people that use them. But again, I recommend a warranty trust if you're concerned about the legality or the ownership and registration at the public registry, and you don't mind paying those closing costs. So those are your two options. Sandy and I are always here to help and provide advice. All of our information is below, and if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. And as usual, have a great day and take it easy. Bye-bye.